Hey everyone, and welcome to What If Disney World. I'm Stevie.
And I'm Amy.
And today we're doing part 2 of our Disability Access Service discussion. So in part 1, we gave an overview of what D.A.S is, how it works, and answered some frequently asked questions. So if you missed that, be sure to check it out. Because what we'll be discussing in this video will be building on that information. In the video today, we're going to discuss more specifics on using D.A.S in different parks, what rides to try and pre-book for your advanced selections, and some strategies that worked for us. Oh, and answering the big question, do you need Genie Plus if you're using D.A.S?
Okay, so let's start with the D.A.S Advanced. These are the pre-booked selections. The key here is the earlier that you register and book, the better selection you'll have for these. So that starts at 30 days before the last day of your trip. So I would recommend doing that as early as possible. Take time to read over the list of eligible rides posted on the Disney website because not all rides are included and available for this advanced selection. For example, Seven Dwarfs Mine Train and Flight of Passage are not available. Really, basically any ride that's an individual lightning lane is not available for the advanced selection. So our strategy for advanced selections was to go with the rides that we know historically have high wait times. And we also tried to keep in mind our park touring strategies so we know around what time to try to book the selection. For examples of our typical park strategies that we use, you can check out our videos that we've made for each of the parks. But knowing what part of the park you will likely be in at a certain time of the day will help you smartly choose what time to book certain rides. You don't want to book something at 8 a.m. and then book another one for 9 a.m. on the total opposite end of the park, for example. And be sure to remember that the person who is the qualifying person for D.A.S must ride the ride. If they don't want to ride it or can't physically ride it, do not book this ride as a pre-selection. No one else in the party can ride using D.A.S if the qualifying D.A.S person is not riding. I mean, it makes sense, right? That's what D.A.S is for that person. So if they're not going to ride it, nobody else in the party can ride it using D.A.S either. So I thought it might be helpful to give everybody a list of what I think would be really good options for the advanced selections based on historic wait times. So in Magic Kingdom, I would try to choose Peter Pan, Jungle Cruise, Thunder Mountain, Haunted Mansion, any of the character meet and greets, and really probably even Pirates would be an okay choice. In Epcot, there's a more limited selection here on the list, but my top picks would be Test Track or Soarin'. In Animal Kingdom, I think Festival of the Lion King, Safari, and Navi River Journey would be really good options. In Hollywood Studios, Millennium Falcon, Rock and Roller Coaster, Slinky Dog, Toy Story Mania, and Tower of Terror would all be excellent options. Okay, and so now moving on to the same day selections. So once you get into the park, D.A.S is available during early entry and even for after hours events. So keep that in mind. Basically, anytime there's a wait time posted, you can use D.A.S. So it's super helpful. I think it's really smart at Rope Drop to choose your first ride for your same day D.A.S selection as the ride that everybody else is running to. For these super popular rides and at busy times, wait times can climb up to like 60 minutes pretty quickly, and you don't want to get stuck waiting in that line. So go ahead and sign up for the D.A.S pass for that ride at the time that wait times are posted. It's going to be one of the lowest wait times of the day. And then go rope drop other rides around that ride that nobody else is going to, so they're not going to have a wait. We'll get more on specifics in each park of what we did in a little bit, so stay tuned. We mentioned in the other video how to book a D.A.S pass on the app, but it's super easy to do. You simply click on the D.A.S in your app, you choose the ride you want, and you book the return time. And the return time is going to equal the current wait time for the ride. It's really simple. Another little tip that we found was try to book a return time for a longer wait ride over your lunch break. It's smart because the clock is going to tick no matter what. You might be eating for an hour and that time is going to pass anyway, so you might as well let it be passing on a long wait time ride. So why don't we give you rides we chose for our advanced selections as an example, and how we use D.A.S through the day in each park, and if we found Genie Plus to be necessary in that park or not. Okay, let's start with Magic Kingdom. And the caveat to this I should mention is that our Magic Kingdom days were on Christmas party days. So the crowd levels were really pretty low. So that does kind of impact what we were able to accomplish. So for our pre-selections, we had a 8:30 to 9:30 Peter Pan and a Meet Tiana from 10 to 11. We arrived for early entry for Rope Drop, and as soon as wait times were posted, we selected Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. So while everybody is running to Peter Pan or Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, all the other rides in Fantasyland have practically nobody in line. So we went and rode all those other rides in Fantasyland. Winnie the Pooh, Teacups, Barnstormer, Dumbo, the Ariel ride, all while waiting for our return time for Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. Alternatively, for Magic Kingdom early entry, I think other good options would be Peter Pan or Space Mountain, because those rides tend to be the ones that people run to. After your first ride choice, you can then choose your second choice. But don't forget about your pre-selections and make sure to work those in. And once you select your next ride, depending on that wait time, fill it in with something. So you can eat a snack somewhere, like we went to Gaston's Tavern, or you could go and get a Cheshire Cattail at Cheshire Cafe. You could also fill in with filler attractions in between your return times and your pre-selections. So examples of good filler attractions in Magic Kingdom are things that don't typically have a wait, like Mickey's PhilharMagic, or the Carousel, or Hall of Presidents, the Tiki Room, the Magic Carpets, Carousel of Progress, or the People Mover. You can also fill in time with entertainment like stage shows or parades, cavalcades, Dapper Dan performances, just to name a few. There's a lot of things to do to fill in the time in between your D.A.S selections. We found that we were able to very efficiently move through Magic Kingdom, and we did not feel the need to have Genie Plus on our Magic Kingdom day with D.A.S. But we went on a party day, so crowds were lower, and our family member that had the D.A.S loves to ride all the roller coasters and the big rides that we wanted to. So those two things played a factor. If you went on a day that was super high crowds, or if the person who is the D.A.S holder in your party does not want to ride some of the rides that other people in the party want to ride, then you might want to get Genie Plus. Okay, for our Epcot day, we chose a 10:30 to 11:30 Spaceship Earth pre-selection and a 12:30 to 1:30 Soarin'. I really wanted Test Track, but there was none available when I went to go choose it, so we chose Spaceship Earth instead, and that actually ended up working out well because Epcot was super busy on the day we were there, and Spaceship Earth wait was like 60 minutes.
Yeah, it was nuts.
So it ended up working out well. But what we did at Rope Drop was we went straight to Test Track first, and as soon as wait times were posted, we selected Frozen. By the time we were done with Test Track and walked to Norway, it was our return time for Frozen. We had also bought an individual lightning lane for Guardians of the Galaxy, and then we had our pre-selections, like I mentioned, for Spaceship Earth and Soarin'. So after Frozen, we actually went ahead and selected Living with the Land because we knew we were going to be heading around that way. So we rode our individual lightning lane for Guardians, Spaceship Earth with our pre-selection, and then we ended up doing Living with the Land and Soarin', and it worked out really well. We ate lunch in the land pavilion, and so as soon as we rode Living with the Land, we selected Remy because Remy is a super long wait sometimes.
Yeah.
And so the clock was ticking over the lunch hour, but that was okay because we were eating, we were relaxing, and then we walked through World Showcase and ended up being able to ride Remy later. I think either Remy, Frozen, or Test Track all would be good options for the first ride that you pick because those are the ones that people are running to for rope drop. But with Epcot, there's a lot to do and there's not a lot of rides and attractions. So even if you have to wait a long time for your return time, there's plenty of other things to do. Just go snack around World Showcase or see some shows. So because Epcot has really so few rides and attractions, we did not think that Genie Plus was necessary with D.A.S. And this was on a super busy Epcot day right before Christmas, and we really didn't think that it was necessary. We did buy the individual lightning lane for Guardians so that we wouldn't have to stand in the virtual queue, but even being busy, we didn't think that we needed Genie Plus. Okay, so moving on to Animal Kingdom, we chose our pre-selections as a 9:30 to 10:30 safari and the Lion King show at 11. When wait times were posted, first thing at rope drop, we immediately selected Flight of Passage. That's what everybody is running to, except us, because we had D.A.S. and we selected that wait time, and then we went straight to Navi River Journey, which early on in the day, there's no wait. We just walked right on. And then we passed more time by eating some breakfast at Pongu Pongu and exploring in Pandora, getting some pictures made. And then after it was our time to ride Flight of Passage and we scanned in, we went ahead and selected Everest next because we already had our pre-selections for the safari and the Lion King show. So then after we were done in Pandora, we headed up to Africa, and then we were able to move through the day like that. I thought this park was super easy using just D.A.S. alone. We did not need to buy Genie Plus, and we did not need to buy the individual lightning lane for Flight of Passage. And last but most certainly not least is Hollywood Studios. This is the hardest park to navigate because there are so many rides with really high wait times, and we went at a very busy time of the year right before Christmas. So our pre-selections here were Toy Story Mania from 8:30 to 9:30 and Tower of Terror between 1 and 2. I really wanted Slinky Dog, but it was not available when we were doing our pre-selection. And this was the only park that we did purchase Genie Plus because it was a very busy day and Hollywood Studios historically has some of the highest waits in Walt Disney World. So what we did with Genie Plus was at 7 a.m., I immediately selected Mickey and Minnie Runaway Railway as our first Genie Plus selection, and we got a return time of 10:30. We then selected Slinky Dog as our first D.A.S. as soon as wait times were posted. We walked at rope drop straight to Toy Story Land, and we went straight to Alien Swirling Saucers, which no one else in Hollywood Studios is rope dropping Alien Swirling Saucers. So I think we were like the only people on the ride and there was no wait time. So that was great. And then we were able to ride our pre-selected Toy Story Mania, and we ate a lunchbox tart at Woody's Lunchbox. And then it was time for our Slinky Dog return time. Once we rode that, we selected our next same-day D.A.S. with the Olaf meet and greet, and we were actually able to go straight there and meet Olaf. And after we scanned in for that, then we went ahead and selected Rise of the Resistance, which had a super long wait, but that was okay because we knew we had a Mickey Minnie Genie Plus and we had a lunch reservation coming up. So we went from Olaf over to Mickey Minnie Runaway Railway, rode that with Genie Plus, and as soon as we tapped in for that, then we could select our next Genie Plus, right? So we selected actually a lightning lane for the Frozen show after lunch because our kids love this show. And then we went and ate lunch, and after lunch, we went and rode our pre-selection Tower of Terror. We did the Frozen show, and we also watched the Muppets because it doesn't ever have a wait. And then we went and rode Rise before we ended up leaving the park. Hollywood Studios has a lot of good filler attractions that you could do in between waiting for a return time for a D.A.S. So you could go and see the Muppet Show, you could go see the Indiana Jones show, you could go and see the Frozen show without a lightning lane, the Walt Disney Presents, the Cars show, etc. So we ended up only using Genie Plus for 2 attractions. So is that worth it? I don't really know. It ended up feeling like it was worth it for us because we were able to get things done in a more efficient manner, and we have young kids that don't really hang very well in the park, and we ended up leaving at about 4 p.m. But if you are able to stay in the park longer, or if you don't mind waiting around, I really don't think that you would even need Genie Plus and Hollywood Studios. So basically, to sum it up, use D.A.S. at Rope Drop for those high wait time rides like Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, Frozen, Flight of Passage, Slinky Dog, and the return time first thing will be relatively short, and you can do other things in the meantime by going straight to those rides that nobody else is going to. And then for the same day selections, just choose whatever you want to ride next. And if it's a longer wait time, fill in that time with a snack or a show or a parade or a cavalcade or a filler attraction that doesn't have a long wait time. There are so many things to do in Disney World that you can fill in that time without any problem.
All right, well, we hope this part 2 video was helpful for you. If you have any questions, please leave those below in the comments. Subscribe to support the channel. Thanks for listening. Until next time, keep dreaming.